just going to listen a little bit. I'm going to solo the vocals I did with my friend Amin on Sun King. We're going to listen to what the effects are. We all know the plate reverb, right? And some of us might have this Abbey Road plate plug-in, which is fantastic. I have a plate. I have an EMT 140, and I love it. But I don't always use it because every plate sounds different. And I think the Abbey Road plates are rad because each one of these 4 plates sound pretty different. So I'm going to let you guys hear the top of Sun King here with just the vocals in the Abbey Road plate soloed.
Here come the Sun King.
It's pretty gorgeous. Now I hear a lot of chamber on Abbey Road, but I believe this song was done with the plate. I might be completely wrong, but the truth is the chambers are not long. There's about a 1.5 second decay at the most. And a plate, you can, well, on here it says 10 seconds, but realistically, if the damper is off, you can get even longer decay than that. I have found that this plate, A, is my favorite. That's just my personal favorite. Why don't we just A, B them really quick? So we'll go A, B, C, D on this first note here. Let's try B. It's nice too. It's a little shorter even though we're at 6. Let's try C. Seems like it's even shorter. I'm not sure why that is. I think maybe that's just kind of how they sampled them. And let's try D. D's longer and darker, it sounds like. I still like A. Has this kind of almost fluttery delay effect to it, which if you have a plate like that, I'd say you're pretty lucky. My plate doesn't do that. My plate doesn't do that fluttery thing, so that's unique to this plate, and I love that sound. Bass cut. Usually I would cut the bass, but a little bit more than this. But I have the vocal stems for this song, and you can find them out there if you search around. You can find Beatles rock band Beatles stems and listen to the vocals on this tune soloed. And from what I can tell on that, they didn't cut too much bass, and probably because they ended up cutting a bit of bass on the vocal. They didn't. These weren't full range vocals. They cut bass a lot on vocals on this album, but not as much as previous albums. In the '60s, they cut so much bass out of them. Because when they were cutting in those days, they had different rules and with low end, and it was so easy just to cut the vocal low end out. We've done the plate. Now I'm not sure that the chamber was used on this song, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm also going to offer some settings with this class. I'm gonna do settings for every one of the plugins I'm showing you. Pretty similar to what I'm using here, so that you have a good starting place if you guys want to experiment. So I have one saved called Abbey Road Start. That's just a thing. Now I'm going to explain this more in the next tune, but for now I'm going to turn the steed down, which is basically a delay that goes into the chamber. And I'm going to turn the delay down pretty low as well. And this is the time. I turn it all the way up every time because basically when they made this plug-in, they used the chamber that as it exists now. When the chamber existed in the 60s, it was very different. It was a bit bigger. What happened was it flooded, and for many years it kind of was condemned and nobody used it. You know, of course, digital reverbs came out, all that kind of stuff. They revived the chambers in the early 90s for George Martin when they filmed the anthology. And this is sampled as the chamber was revived then. And my understanding is that it's shorter than the original chamber. So I always turn this time multiplier all the way up to 1.5 because I think it, or is that, yes, 1.5. Because I think it sounds the closest to the original. So let's listen to that first note. We're going to do this. We're going to do the chamber first, and then we're going to go to the Abbey Road plate. See, not very long. That's why I think it's probably the plate on this song. We're going to go back to the plate now. That's a beautiful sound. This is a great plugin. The chamber is also a really great plugin, and I use it a lot. And I'm going to show you when we jump over to Polythene Pam and Bathroom Window how they used the plate to emphasize some snare overdubs they were doing.